guys, Franchise here with Franchise80s.com, and today I am in my office / garage where I am surrounded here by toy collectible goodness, as you can see all around me. All sorts of great stuff, mostly new current stuff that's out on the shelves at the retail stores today, like Toys R Us, Walmart, and Target. Today's video is going to be about some of the new toys that you can get at these retail stores, and how a lot of the lines are paying homage to some of the old retro and classic toys from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So we're going to be talking about that and a bunch of other cool stuff that has to do with toys and collecting toys. And so I hope you stick around, and please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys after my intro. Okay guys, so like I said at the beginning of the video, today's video is going to be about some of the new toys that are currently out for sale at retail stores like Target, Walmart, Kmart, and Toys R Us. And we're going to talk a little bit about how a lot of these toys are re-releasing new versions of old classics, you know, paying homage, paying tribute to some of the great toys that I used to have back in the 80s and 90s. So I'm going to be showing you a few different toys today that I've picked up over the last few months of toy hunting, and I'm going to show you some pretty cool retro toy lines. So let's start with Voltron. I'm wearing the shirt, see? So Voltron came out recently. They had a cartoon on Netflix. It was kind of like a remake of the original 1980s cartoon, and it was revamped to the actual Voltron and the lines and stuff. They were a little bit updated. They look really cool. They still have that classic colorful look that they did in the 80s, but you know, they made it a little bit more cartoonish. As you can see, here's a blue lion from the series, and you can see the lettering is a little bit more updated, and then you can see here how each lion, you have to collect all 5 lions to build Voltron, as you can see right here. And then on the back of it, it shows you a little bit better picture there. Okay, so you can see it's Voltron Legendary Defender, the title, and it's a pretty cool cartoon. And on the front of the toy line here, you can see that it says Netflix, and this is a really cool toy line, and it's made by Playmates, Playmates Toy Company, and so once you get all 5 lions, you can make Voltron, which I did here. I'll show you. Wow! So it makes noise. You can see here.
Blue lion, ready for action. Red lion, ready for battle. Green lion, all systems go. Yellow lion engaged. Red, green, black, blue, and yellow lions detected. Voltron operational. Now we go on the offensive.
So there you have it.
Separation sequence engaged.
If you buy all 5 lions, I'm gonna
Red lion, ready for battle.
put them down.
All systems go. Yellow lion
So as he's running in the background here,
Yellow lions detected. Voltron operational.
what's
Do it. Forward sword.
so what's great about the Voltron toy, the new one, is that back in the 80s, they had a very similar toy line that was extremely popular. Nowadays, that if you were to have that Voltron from the 1980s, they go for a lot of money, over $200-300 for one of them. And this one is kind of pricey for a toy, you know. If you were to buy all 5 lions, you're looking at about $17.99 a piece from the if you buy them at Target or Toys R Us. And the main lion, the black lion, that one will run you about $29.99. So you're looking well over $100 to build this Voltron. I'm not even going to touch it, because if I do, it'll start making all sorts of noise and stuff like that. So it's really interactive. It's kind of cool, but probably not the greatest thing for this video. There's no way to turn it off either, so it's kind of loud. But so the new Voltron that I have here, say, is it's a really great toy line, because it really pays tribute to the old 1980s version. And if it wasn't enough for this to pay tribute, which I think is just awesome to have this type of toy, they've also come out now more recently with a classic version. So I've told you before how they tweaked the Voltron to make it look a little bit more modern, but they actually came out with the classic version of the Voltron, just like the one that they had in the 1980s. I know this kind of looks the same as the one I told you, but it's the one that I showed you before, but it's not the same. You could see, I'll put them side by side. And you can see here that the Voltron, the lettering, this one right here has the lettering from the 1980s, and you can even see Voltron 84 on it. So and right there, right in the middle, it says classic, legendary, green lion, where this one says legendary, blue lion, so it's not classic. And you can see on the difference too in the actual Voltron itself. So it's pretty my age, in their 40s, 30s or 40s, grew up in the 80s. They're nostalgic for some of the toys that they used to have as a kid, and that classic Voltron was definitely a very popular toy line. So the WWE also jumped on this type of trend. There is a really popular action figure line by the WWE back in the early 90s, and they were made by Hasbro Corporation. This is an original Hasbro Ultimate Warrior, and it's a very popular toy line, and the WWE is now trying to capitalize on this. They've released them. They have their contract by Mattel, I believe, and Mattel came out with the Hasbro looking, the old 1990s Hasbro looking action figures. They're 3 and 3.75 inch, I believe, or 3 and 3.25 inch. I'm not really sure how big they are, but normally WWE figures, are they're much bigger than these. So this is the classic look for the very popular toy line that they had back in the 90s. So that's another example. Here's one more. The Undertaker. This is what the packaging looks like. The packaging is very retro too. The difference is it says Mattel right here, right there. It says Mattel, and it doesn't say Hasbro. The Star Wars figures that they have now. The Star Wars, they make a classic toy line too, but they're made by Hasbro now, I believe, but some of the packaging actually says Kenner, because Kenner toys were the first ones to have the Star Wars line. So they're trying to recreate that classic package look, and they even, since Kenner is no longer in existence, they were probably able to buy the rights to have that name slapped on there. So the Kenner is on the front, but if you look on the back, it still says, it'll say Hasbro really small, because they're the ones that actually make the product, not Kenner. But it's kind of cool that, you can display them, and they look very much like the originals. So another toy line that's becoming very popular is the Transformers, and they are also going retro. This is a recent release of Rodimus Prime, and it's the actual likeness of the 1980s Rodimus Prime, not the current Transformers that we have today from the movies. I think that I don't really like their look, And the look of the original Transformers to me is the best look. Optimus Prime is another one. This is really cool looking Optimus Prime. This Optimus Prime looks very close to the original. It has a little bit of a different, more newer look, but still really cool. You can tell it's Optimus Prime pretty much by looking at it. It's got that iconic look, where the Optimus Prime in the movies, they doesn't look very good. I don't really like it the way it looks. Another toy. This is more like a crossover between two toy lines. Ninja Turtles are very popular, and the WWE. This one's made by Playmates. They have taken Donatello and they dress him up like the Ultimate Warrior. So it's Donatello as the Ultimate Warrior. And you can also get The Rock, Roddy Piper, and Finn Balor, who's a current WWE superstar at the moment. Another cool thing about these retro toy lines that are coming back with, like these that I was talking about. Back in the 90s, you could only get the wrestlers that were wrestling in at that time, which was Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and so on. Now with this new toy line, you could still get those, but now they're making the newer wrestlers: John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, and guys like that, and they're being released to look like the old retro Hasbro figures from the 90s. That's kind of cool. So another thing that they're doing that's pretty smart is toy lines, is that they're making very limited or exclusive figures that you can only get by buying really expensive sets. For instance, the WWE came out with a ring set, and it's about $129, and you get an exclusive Goldberg figure in this set. The only way you can get the Goldberg figure is in the set. They don't sell them individually. So if you wanted that Goldberg, it would cost you about $149, because that's how much the toy kit or the toy set costs. It's the ring, the WWE ring, full scale WWE ring. It's a pretty big toy, and it has the Goldberg figure in that. That's pretty cool. Another one that they're doing is the Star Wars line has come out with a BB-8 set. It's a big, huge BB-8 robot that opens up, and it's inside the BB-8. It's like a play set. It's from the movie, and it comes with two exclusive figures. It comes with a Red Guard and Supreme Leader Snoke, and I happen to have Supreme Leader Snoke right over here. The only way you can get Supreme Leader Snoke is in this 3.75 inch size, because you can get him in the 6 inch and other stuff. He's not. They sell them individually in those, but this is the one everyone wants, because this is the classic Star Wars size is a 3.75 inch. The only way you can get this figure is by spending $249 and purchasing the BB-8 set, because that is the only, this is the only place that they sell this figure, is in that set. They don't make them individually. So right now he is very, very highly sought after. I think there was only 2 of them on eBay for sale. One was selling for $180 and the other one was selling for about $160. And just 2 of them being offered for sale is pretty rare, because just think of, there's millions of sellers on eBay selling items, and only 2 of them actually have and are willing to part with Supreme Leader Snoke. So that's kind of cool. I'm very happy to own this figure. I think it's just going to go up in value in the future. It is so hard to get. And so anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Me getting a text message, the old Donkey Kong music for my text messaging. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please remember to like and to subscribe, and I'll be having links to all this great stuff for more information on all, some of the toys you've seen, some of the toy lines and the toy companies, and then also to my Franchise Auctions eBay page. I'm having a link in the description below, and I will be making a lot more videos like this one, where I kind of run through the history and explain some of the history and also some of the intricacies of some of the newer toys, along with some of the classic and older toys as well, and the thing that both of those toy lines have in common and stuff. So thank you very much again for watching my video, and remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my head.